Hey, hey, welcome to the A. Hey, welcome to the A. The A. Welcome to the A. Hey, welcome to the A. Hey, welcome to the A. Hey, AP on the show. It's the AP on the show. It's the AP on the show. Hey. How's it going, family? Welcome, another day, another Monday, another fun day. Hey, Eunice, how you doing? Hey. AP on the show. We're getting this thing started again. This is how I kicked it off back in the day. That's how I look at it. And I say back in the day, you know how it doesn't take long before you look at things like, yeah, I remember back in the day when I was, as if it was a long time ago. It really wasn't. But it was at the same damn time. Because it was the December 2020. Early start to the AP morning show. So how did it go? I'm so glad that you silently asked. I showed up here December, let me go navigate to my profile so I can see exactly when this whole thing started. I want to say it was December, let me see if I can take a guess. December 12th. It was either the 12th, 15th, or 20th. All right, let me navigate to my profile so I can see which one it was. All right, I got here, thanks to one Sherry Goodall, on December 3rd, actually. December 3rd, 2020 is when I started this AP morning show journey. The morning show journey. Oh, the morning show journey. That feels so good to say that. Because that's what it's been this whole time. As I got into this space and decided at the drop of a dime that my whole goal was just going to be to get myself together after the winds of 2020. The winds, the changing winds, 2020. I decided to get on this palm tree flow is what I like to call it. Palm tree flow. And that's when you know what you know, you allow yourself to flow and go low when things get crazy, as they did in 2020 for all of us. Except for you. I know you were alright. And that's the reason why I'm building a mindfulness and meditation app. Because in 2022, from now until then, and like it's always been, my goal is going to be to help you and to help my damn self through this time and all times. And so I got into this flow December 3rd, 2020. I decided to allow this app, this Clubhouse app, to just be my alarm clock, just to get me back into the swing of things. I allow myself, what I call the palm tree flow is when you allow yourself to bend with the changing winds, because bending keeps you from breaking. So I allow myself to flow, I allow myself to flow, in 2020. Allow myself to be free. I wasn't too hard on myself as far as my schedule, I got a whole lot of shit done, I will tell you that. I got a whole lot done. But I just did it in a very relaxed, as much as I could way. And I tell you, I have to say that I'm so grateful for that. Because by not being on my back so hard and by allowing myself some slack, what I did was allow myself to be a father to my kids and to live on. I made it through, y'all. And I made it through without being too overly stressed. That's why I have so much empathy for the rest of us. Because it wasn't easy. Hasn't been easy. It's not easy. It's still not easy. But we're pushing through. Making it do what it do. And so that's why in 2022, I'm building a mindfulness and meditation app called 5M, the 5M experience. And I'm bringing you daily meditations right now. If you don't know that, don't worry, it's all good. You know, it's a lot of noise going on out there. What I'll do, especially if you are hanging out with me on Clubhouse, is I'm actually going to put it at the top of the screen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fun. There you go. If you look at the top of the screen, I pasted the wrong damn thing. Hey, my phone didn't ring. Okay, so I copied one thing. See, I was trying to be smooth, right? And I copied one thing, but then when I got to the screen, my phone was like, nah, I'm not ready to switch over what you've pasted before. And there we go. 5M, mindfulness and meditation. And so that is my contribution to the field of self-care. Soulful self-care tools is what I call it. Mindfulness and meditation. The 5 M's are music, movement, meditation, mindfulness, and mantra. I have an experience here on Clubhouse on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. for 2 hours. Most times, because I like to talk to people. And it's the 5M experience. So whether you're joining me here live or whether you're preparing for the app to come out in 2022, or whether you're checking out the daily meditations that I put on YouTube on this 5M mindfulness and meditation channel, let's self-care together. Ain't nobody got time to be stressed. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for that. And so here we go, y'all. I'm excited because guess what? My music teacher hopefully will be coming on the show today. And I say hopefully because my music teacher, he was like, now you know I ain't all on this technology now. You know that, right? So we got him straight. But this will be his first time using the app like this, so see if we can plug him on in. In fact, in a few minutes, I'm gonna give him a call. Make sure he's plugged in. You get a chance to talk to and to meet and to listen to the stories of how I got started and just how things would not have been the same had I not had this man to blame. Fernando Allen is his name. Fernando Allen Sr., to be exact. My music teacher, starting from middle school at Woodlawn Middle, and then he transferred over to Milford Mill High. And when I tell you what this man did for me, it was unconventional as far as schools goes and curriculum and policy, if you will, quote unquote. And for all those hanging out with me on Facebook, you see me throwing up the air quotes. Because what he did for me changed my whole life. It was the best thing he could do, even though it was unconventional. Yeah, so you'll get a chance to hear that story of how he helped me get my start as a producer today. I'm excited about that. I'm also excited because my mama also will be coming through. And my mom was actually in his choir. They were in the same community choir. I believe he was the piano player and choir director. And my mama, she sung in the choir. Now, the story that we're going to tell, I don't even think my mom has heard these stories. So it's going to be fun. All that and more today on the AP Morning Show. All right, so here's what I need. All right, so I'm going to try to call Fernando. Now, in order to do that on Clubhouse, what I need to do is, if I make a call while I'm on the line, then I think it will shut my ass down unless I have another moderator on the stage. So, Eunice, or there's Fernando, there he is. I don't have to call him. He's right down there in the audience. I just had to slide my screen down. He's probably been here the whole time. So Clubhouse has now, since they've added a pinned link to the top, now you can be able to talk and hang out and still have a link at the top for people to follow. So people, follow that link right now. Go ahead and click it and save that 5N Mindfulness and Meditation YouTube channel. That is my contribution to the field of self-care. That is a legacy that I dare say will be bigger than my quote-unquote claim to fame and what has put me on the map and what has made my name global at this point. Fruition Music, which I'm so honored. I'm so honored that I have that baby. If you've never heard of Fruition Music, all you gotta do is use your thumb, go to your home screen, go up to Google or down or to the left or right or wherever you search from, and just type in Fruition Music. That's Fruition Music. Type in Fruition Music and you'll be able to see what I've been up to since 2007 globally. Or as I like to say at this point, geomagnetically. Did y'all know that was a word? Geomagnetic. That's the kind of personality I feel that all the people that are around me have, which is again how I feel that I got attracted to my music teacher from middle school and high school, how our paths crossed. My mom, in fact, let me shoot my mom a message. She'll be able to share the earlier part of that journey. And then, I get a chance to share with you what you hear in the background right now. I get a chance to share with you what that is, where it came from, and how this man, Fernando Allen, is in major part responsible for that. So I'm excited. Let me hit up my mama. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you. Hey, happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you. I hope that you had a good weekend. Hope that you found yourself well. And as always, I like to get this process started with a few ponderings. What are ponderings? Well, I'm so glad that you silently asked. Ponderings are my thoughts that I started to dictate, write down, keep close to me in the midst of this experience called life. So I have a book, Ponderings, that I've been writing for the last 2 years, and this is one of 8 books that I've been writing. I have 3 quote books, Ponderings, a shenanigans book. I even got a book that's called Jesus, He Was a Cool Guy. Self-care journey, poetry, my thoughts on religion and spirituality, word a day, favorite quotes. Like, I got all kinds of books that I've been writing. So what I'm going to share with you are a few of my ponderings, a few things that I've thought about that I know you've thought about too. And if you haven't, then you may be after I share this with you. First things first, the only difference between a superhero and a villain is mindset and use of power. Think about that. Here's another for you. It's up to you to be deeply aware and take care of your own needs, especially when it comes to your sanity, mental health, and well-being. And you have to understand that sometimes people They won't be able to get past their own emotions or needs in order to care about yours. It's normal. It's what emotions do to us sometimes. But remember, the only thing that people will be able to do is to cry and to mourn for you if your anxiety, depression, or unhappiness takes you out of here. It's up to you to save your own life. Be considerate of other people's feelings, but not at the expense of your own. You know that term, woe is me? Well, I think woe is me stands for waste of time. You have to learn to just accept shit. Pick yourself up and do what you need to do to create the life that you want. Because at the end of the day, you have no one else to count on but yourself. So take your woe and turn your woe into energy to move forward strongly. Remember, the woe in me should stand for waste of energy. So when I was younger, I think I may have been about 8, and it was probably one of the first times a quote actually touched me deeply. It actually had an impact on me. It was when I became a quote lover. For those that don't know, I've written over 400 original quotes that I share regularly. So I can't remember exactly the quote word for word, but it was something like, well, what is life? As in, like, what is the meaning of life? What is life? The answer was that life is the thing that is slowly passing you by while you ponder on that question. I was like, damn, that hit me at 8. And what it meant was that you could either allow the moment to pass by and be caught up in something that may or may not be worth your time, or you could be totally in the moment with life. So that question, what is life, inspired this pondering for me. What is life? Life is a collection of moments separated by experiences. Choosing consciously to deeply appreciate and experience the amazing moments is what makes it amazing. So when you intentionally place your focus, where you place your focus will determine the lens through which you view life. I choose to fully accept not only the good moments, but the not so good. Keeping my attitude balanced helps me to appreciate the amazing moments even more. When things happen in life that are monumental, I am always amazed, but I'm not surprised. Because life is filled with many things, including amazing moments. 9/6/2020. Here's 2 more for you, and then I want to chop it up with my family. Continuing to overthink it will continue to keep you from just taking the first step. Just do something. Then you can have a chance to reflect, regroup, learn from it, and take the next step. But for real, just do something already. And guess what? I got a 2.0 to something that you heard before, probably a lot of times before. So you've heard that saying, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Guess what? I got a 2.0, yo. What I say is, do not treat others the way that you desire to be treated. Here's why. Do not treat others the way you desire to be treated. Because in general cases, in instances where your preferences just so happen to match up, you will be spot on. Congratulations. However, with the reality of living in a world of different preferences, you'll inevitably be unintentionally assuming and unknowingly dismissive to what others desire even before putting the principle into action. So in my opinion, the more appropriate mantra should be, treat others the way they desire to be treated, so as long as it doesn't jeopardize your morals and values to do so. This way, you can be respectful, sensitive, and mindful of others' desires while maintaining your personal values, and everybody wins. And the only thing I'm mad about is that I did not put the damn date when I wrote that down. Because I feel like that will always be one of my favorite of my personal ponderings. All right. So on that tip, I want to say, hey, welcome to the AP morning show. By all means, I started this experience out December 3rd, and I decided that the only thing I wanted to do was to meet as many people as possible, to catch up with as many people that have been a part of my journey for years. You know, we're always looking for a way to keep up with each other, or we're always thinking about how we don't keep up with each other enough. And I was like, you know what? I could use this here Clubhouse thing to just create my own experience where I can just show up, meet new people, say good morning to as many people as possible, hang out with my friends and family, people that I've known from way back, and stand in accountability with as many people as possible to help them on their way to a great day. We've gone up to 5 hours at one point during this room, and we ain't doing that no more. We'll have our 5-hour marathon in the future. But for right now, I want to do the thing that's most important to me. So by all means, hey family, hey, Fernando, Tony, Eunice, if you would like to come up to the stage, by all means, throw up a wave. I would love to say, hey, I would love to say, hey. And if not, if you're just using this as your background experience to your morning, well, guess what? I appreciate you for that too. Most of all, thanks for coming through. And also, if you are hanging out with me on Facebook, or if you're not hanging out with me on Facebook, guess what? You can. All you got to do is just pop on over to Facebook, type in Aaron Hill TV, and come see me. The red and black profile picture is what you'll see. Come hang out with me live. You get a chance to see my studio, which in a few days will be like crazy, laid out lights and ambiance and all kinds of good stuff. But you get a chance to see my first picture that I ever put in my studio back in 2001. The most important picture to me in my studio. It's a picture of 2 jazz musicians. It would actually foretell my future way before I played jazz. 2 jazz musicians, saxophone player and a bass player. You can see those too. See my keyboard. And yeah, come hang out with me. Watch me make silly faces at you. All right, family. Hit up a few more of my people. For those that are not on Clubhouse and you're on Facebook, why the hell not? Come on over to Clubhouse. Download Clubhouse audio chat. I promise you, it's way better than even Facebook Live, because we get a chance to talk to each other. Real life. You don't have to try to type, a million comments and then I try to read them and comment back. I still love that too. That's all good. Speaking of which, drop a line, goddamn. Drop a line. But come on over to Clubhouse and look for me at Aaron Hill TV. At Aaron Hill TV. All right, y'all. Let's get this thing started. All right. Tony's coming. Let's see what's going on. My brother from another mother. Tony, what's happening, family?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well, bro. How are you?
Good. Good, man. I'm kind of easing into the morning.
Yes, sir.
I was up and I didn't feel like getting up and racing into campus. So
I love it.
so I am going to make these. I'm gonna get my biscuit
Yeah, all right, all right.
and tea. You know,
Yes, sir.
and then plan, man. I need to go to campus and put that work in, bro.
Yes,
I
sir.
am completing a master's, so
Oh,
yeah, bro.
dope,
So I
man. Dope. Masters. Yeah, okay, is it a master's in music? Another field?
no, it's a social justice, man.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have about 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
to finish that, or at least I need to be done soon. So I need to go in and figure it out,
Yeah,
and
man.
then I am I
Sound like you about to
sorry
blast off
sorry
on a
for the
rocket ship.
noise. I'm outside. So I'd also, man, I plan on going and seeing a movie with one of my a couple of my mentees.
Nice.
So I had kind of forgotten about that, but they reminded me.
Right.
So that's
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 dope.
gonna be good.
That is dope,
You
brother.
know, it's gonna
That
be
is dope.
enjoyable.
How did
So um
how
so
did
I'm
everything go
also
yesterday, bro?
oh it's
With the
good.
track.
It's good, man. Yeah, I'll send you the the link, man.
That's what's up.
I needed to do more, but I got it done.
That's cool. So for everybody here, I was just talking about Fruition Music, just talking about it a few minutes ago as far as, what I've been doing since 2007, 2008. I've been selling performance tracks. I created what turned into one of the most popular global gospel backing tracks in the world, Fruition Music. So many people from so many countries have been helped by the tracks that I've done. There are hundreds and hundreds of tracks there. You can check it out, fruitionmusic.net. Check it out. But I've met a lot of people on the journey, and this was just an idea that came from being a producer, again, inspired by my middle school teacher here, one of the inspirations. I became a producer. That producer leaked on over to wanting to become a pianist. And then I wanted to reverse engineer how songs were put together. The thing I used to enjoy doing was listening to a song, and because I was a hip hop producer and I knew how to lay down different, things like lay down the drums and record the bass and these kind of things, I started listening to other styles of music and getting infatuated with live music. So I wanted to reproduce the same thing. I wanted to make it sound like there was a live band playing, even though I was playing all the instruments on the keyboards, playing the drums on the keyboards with my fingers, playing the bass on the keyboard, playing the guitar. And so I decided to sit down at each instrument for a short period of time just to be able to study the basics of it so that I can understand how a musician thought from that perspective and even some basics, and then take it back to the keyboard and emulate it. I did that with the drums. I did that with the bass, guitar, percussion, horns, strings, and these kind of things. And what came out of it was, like I said, I started producing backing tracks. My goal was that I knew that there were more people out here that wanted a live band sound than they could really afford. It could cost a lot to get a whole band into a studio and that kind of thing. So I wanted to give people that option while being able to save some money. Plus, on the other side, I listened to the karaoke tracks that were out there, and I was like, these some cheesy damn tracks. I mean, people are happy for to have something, but these things, they could use some more soul. And I decided to put the soul in it. Fruition Music came out of it. It's been a global company since. It went from 0 to 6 figures in 4 years between 2010 and 2014. Now what I'm doing is I no longer do gospel tracks. I'm now doing jazz. And since I'm a jazz musician now I'm getting ready to build out soulfuljazztracks.com. And that's basically going to be under the umbrella of Fruition Music. So all you musicians and artists and shower singers out there who love to sing your standards and your soul tunes and that kind of thing, I am doing that. And before we're out of here, this is going to be such a fun experience. Before we're out of here, I'm actually going to share with you all some of a snippet of one of those tracks. Not just a snippet, I'm going to play the whole track. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. I don't want to talk about it. All right, so this is this is another track that I did, and this is You Don't Know What Love Is. So this is one of the tracks that's a part of the soulful jazz tracks category. You don't know what love is. It's a jazz standard. Tony, you ever heard this before? You ever heard the jazz standard, You Don't Know What Love Is?
Yeah, I have actually.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, this is a little bit of it. And just right before I jump back into this convo with Tony, you know, when you listen to this again, in fact, you know what? I got two for you. Before we get out of here, I'm also play for you all the other favorite, which went global, and that was my version of God Bless the Child, the Billie Holiday standard. In fact, shout out to Geneva Renee. See if I can get her on this line. Shout out to Geneva Renee, who just released an album, I think this past week, with the God Bless the Child arrangement that I did on there. That's how we met each other. She met me through the internet and was like, oh my gosh, who are you? And then she became the vocalist for my group for a period of time. And then here we are. So yeah, this is one of the tracks. You Don't Know What Love Is. Tony, man, I tell you, I'm grateful to you, bro, for all the support, man, for the love around the tracks,
thanks, bro.
And all that you poured into me, bro, yesterday. I really appreciate it.
But man, I really appreciate you, man. You're such a gift, such a talent, you know.
Thanks, bro.
And I'm just excited about the fact, man, that you just can continue to grow and move forward. You're such an example, bro. I mean, I'm like, I've watched you from afar.
Yeah.
And I've just seen you just grow and just continue to just do so much, man. So that's exciting. You know that, and your stuff is just so good, so real.
Thanks, brother. Well, if my mom comes in here shortly, then you will hear all about that. You'll hear where a lot of that came from. My mom gave me experience and exposure at such a young age, being what she would now be close to 40 years. She's now retired. She did about maybe 37, 8, 9 years in the school system. So as soon as I came out the womb, I was immediately exposed to education and to experiences of all sorts. My mother made sure she put me in baseball. She took me to theater. She put me in the thing is, my musical abilities didn't surface until, I would say, as far as, like I said, I didn't start playing the piano until I was 21. I started studying at 19. At 16, I was a producer. But my point is that even though that was the case, my mother gave me so much exposure and education at a young age that it gave me everything I needed, not only for music comprehension, but to become an artist, like to actually find myself in the music and my voice. So you'll hear from my mom, and yeah, bro, like you'll be able to hear where this comes from, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I tell you what, man, much respect to moms, because she really gave it to you, bro. You were phenomenal, and I watch you. It's helping me to refine or relocate my voice and my dream and passion. That I can do more.
Wow.
Because you kind of get, you get to a certain place, a certain plateau, and then you just kind of like, all right, this is it, That's it, Bishop. Just stop. But man, you never never stop, man. You just keep going and going and going.
Mm.
And so that's something.
And there's my mom. Yeah. Good morning, Mom. And so, here's the fun part. All right, so Tony, you get a chance to meet my mom, and you get a chance to meet my music teacher brother from middle school who transferred to high school, and I'm so grateful that he did, because that doesn't always happen in life, where your middle school teacher winds up being your high school teacher. But what it led to was exactly this moment today, exactly this track you hear in the background, and to this entire experience. So, Tony, hang on for a second. I'm going to bring my mom up. Also going to bring up Mr. Fernando Allen. And everybody say good morning. And we're going to keep this experience going. Hey, Ma.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Hey. I ain't got long to mess with you, boy.
That's all good. That's all good. But look, I think you got long enough to say hi to one of your friends.
Tony.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
All is well. It was good seeing you about, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we yet still holding on.
Hallelujah.
And Ma, this is Tony Martin. This is my friend Tony Martin. Tony, my mom Cheryl.
Hi, Tony. How are you?
Good. I was just bragging on your son, and he says it all came from you and your exposure. And I tell you what, ma'am, you should be happy with the return on your investment, because your son.
Yes, I appreciate that. My ultimate goal was not to create a killer.
I was joking with him yesterday. As I asked him, I said, "Man, are you Jamaican?" Because it's like he doesn't know. There is no such thing as a ceiling or stop with your son, and just looking at him, and I'm in a situation now where I'm coming back into a black church experience. I've been really with kind of a non denominational situation, which, to be honest, has had robbed me of the rich culture that you get, in the black church. And so I find myself now trying to familiarize myself with the whole experience, with and it's the culture,
right?
And so I reached out to.
Looks like his line dropped off. He'll probably pop back in a few seconds. But Tony, one of the cool things was that Tony hit me up online, and there he is. Hey Tony, we got you again. Just I was just so we were talking, and he was just saying that your exposure to a lot of things really helped to enrich his life, because I look at Aaron and I am like, this guy is just prodigy every way you can think, imagine. I mean, just every single day he's just doing something. So you have to be very happy, and Mr. Fernando, you as well, because Aaron, speaks very highly of you. So it's such an honor to meet you, and thank you. Wow.
Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you for the compliments. And yes, Mr. Fernando Allen is the best. And him and I go way back to the early 70s. Various a potpourri of choirs. He's been a master of his craft.
That was one thing I was thinking about. So you all, is that where you all met? Where you two met? Was it in working with the community choirs?
Yeah, because there were a series of choirs during that time.
Right.
He had his own choir. I was never in a part of his choir.
Okay.
But we all kind of fused together. Every church that we had an engagement, just about the same groups were involved in it.
Oh wow. Fernando, if you can unmute your microphone bottom right. I would love to hear your thoughts on this because, this is my first time hearing it even more extensively as far as how you all met, where music started for you all together, and just times that when I've heard you all speak of it before, they were like really good times where you felt like, connection and community, even just through the music, and the choirs.
Yes.
Oh yes, everybody we knew was in somebody's choir.
Wow. So were you singing in the choir, Fernando? Were you singing as well, or were you the pianist? Were you playing and singing?
I was the conductor.
Okay.
The composer, the arranger.
Wow.
We did have a music staff. The late Bishop Van Debnam,
okay.
Stubby Howard Smith, Kimmett Scott, Reginald McClurkin, but I was more so the conductor.
Yes.
Wow. What was the name of the one of the choirs that you all remember from back in the day?
The Salvation Choral Ensemble.
And that's his baby right there.
I could tell by the way he said the, because he said the with more emphasis than even the rest of the The only thing I didn't hear with the drummer was the Salvation. Yes, I love it.
So do you have a copy of a picture of Salvation?
Yes, it's on Facebook.
Okay, send it to
people for the last couple of years, people have found it and been posting it, giving hundreds and hundreds of comments about their memories of the days when we were very prominent.
Wow.
Yes. So, like you said, Aaron, there were groups.
Right.
Now, I was a part of a small group of 4. Aunt Sandy, Aunt Vanessa, Aunt Sabrina, and myself. So we were called the Taylor sisters. Now, Vanessa and Sabrina were the original Taylors of her family. And I told them one time we had to sing, I said, well, my mother's maiden name was Taylor, so I'm official. And I said, Sandy, I don't know what your excuse is. You got to talk for yourself. But so there were community groups. We were also a part of Dunbar Community Choir.
Wow.
But like you said, it's a series. How many, Tony, you think it was of us?
In the Dunbar Choir?
Yeah.
I guess in the 30s or 40s.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of us.
Wow.
And I said, we were in the neighborhood, so we all basically got the same kind of engagements.
Right.
If we were supposed to go here, well, you best believe the rest of the crew were coming.
Right.
So it was just a big family.
Wow. Yeah, that's the one thing that I can, I even just think about just my times in choirs, and different, ensembles, even being younger. And that is one of the biggest things that you feel from it. Like you get that sense of family, community, you get to meet people and, you become a family and friends. So I know those were good times. Oh man, I can imagine there were so many memories.
Yeah. And our parents didn't have to worry about us because they knew that the type of breed we were.
Right.
We were good kids.
Right.
I mean, Uncle Dallin was a part of, what was it, the Cleft of Joy?
Yes. Jimmy O'Reilly's group.
Yeah. Riley. I mean, Aaron, it was rich.
Wow.
It was really rich. And to see us that are surviving today and still around is just so good.
Wow.
So good to see. And the best part for me is to see our offsprings.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, being a part of it. I mean, not intentional, but just to see the offsprings involved, and it's like, Jesus, thank you. I mean, it's good. It's rich.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's rich. Some are ministers, some are musicians, some are choir directors, and on and on and on. And it's like, wow, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's rich. Wow. And
absolutely.
Even our group, the Taylor Sisters, Tony, wasn't it one year that we were nominated over the Sisters one time?
We had not. I mean, during our era, we had nominations for everything. There were many. The Baltimore Magazine would have an annual thing of the top of everything, every type of category in Baltimore, in and around Baltimore City.
Wow.
And all the times, one of our choirs, a group, Fernando Allen Singers, Salvation Call Ensemble, my St. Francis Choir, you know, was featured many times.
Yes, and my group, Neon, Sandy, and Vanessa and Sabrina, we were known for a cappella. We never, we did eventually have a musician, but we were known for our a cappella. We sang with no music, so we were unique in itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. That was like. Sandy sometime will be our human musician. She would start us off with her humming or whatever.
Yeah. Oh man, I miss Aunt Sandy so much.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
She's such a vibrant personality.
Yes. So it was unique back in those 70s.
Yeah.
It was just so unique and strong and rich.
Right. So,
and the people you mentioned this earlier, the people who are following those footsteps, you know, like we learned from the previous generation, and I must say that our generation of doing it really left a strong foundation of it.
We really did. Aaron, you were a late bloomer because I had you when I was 31, but pretty much like Fernando and a few others that had kids that are older than you.
Yeah.
Erica and all of them. See, they were being drugged around as kids.
Yeah.
Because we didn't go to church. So they were being drugged around.
Right.
And so all of that just fell off onto them. They know about the protocol and so forth of the church. And so, but like I said, with you, I was basically finished singing, and not finished singing, but our group had kind of collapsed. I don't even know how that even happened, but anyway, as time go on, you know, things phase out and so forth.
Right.
But so you never really got the opportunity to hear the Taylor Sisters.
There was no singer like Vanessa.
There
was no singer.
I could tell
like
that
Vanessa.
Look, I could tell based off of your words, because I don't think I've ever heard my mother respond like that to about someone say. I've never heard it. She said, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." She couldn't even get it together. Wow. Yeah, that was a voice. I could tell that.
Yeah, her sister Sabrina. Oh my God, both of them powerhouses. They were powerful. Yes, indeed.
That's amazing. Well, I tell you, I mean, this right here is really enriching for me. You know, I happen to, now be fortunate to be able to have a musical childhood myself, so to speak, or at least, from 14 up until, I would get into music full time at 21. So to hear this, and to hear how you all stuck together, how you all, had so many good times, how it probably kept you out of trouble. It kept you, doing something creative and social and fun and productive. Like, it really sticks out to me because, I think about the experiences that I've had. So, Fernando, from that point, were you already teaching? Like, when did you start teaching in the public school?
My goodness. I was a student, a music education student at Towson, what is now Towson University. When I was in attendance, it was the Towson State College. And when I graduated in 75. 1975, with a bachelor's of science in music education.
Oh wow!
And
75.
Yeah, I started teaching then.
Okay.
Yes, in Baltimore City. I stayed in Baltimore City 9 years, and then I transferred over to Baltimore County. Total of 35 years.
Okay, so 30.
And Tony, our story is pretty much the same. I graduated from Morgan State College at that time in 75. I started teaching in 76, and I finished 36 years.
Okay, yes.
That's amazing. Okay, so all right, so when 75, Fernando, how old were you when you started teaching?
23.
23. Wow. And I just think about that because, again, I'm thinking about, my own journey. I'm thinking about when I started teaching in 2004. So is that 17 years ago? Yeah, and I was 2004, 20, I gotta do some math. I'm 20 something years old. But I was right around that same age. And
what was your teaching experience?
You said, what was my teaching experience?
Yes.
So I started off privately between 2004. Hey, Paz, thanks for hanging out, brother. I started 2004, and I went from 2004 to 2011 teaching privately. I had about 30. I had at least like 31 students at one point, and then I taught in public. I only taught in one public school, and that was Glenelg Country School in Howard County. Yes. Yeah. So that's my teaching experience there. Okay, so you kick into gear at 23, and then you say you go from the city to the county, right?
Yes.
When you came to the county, did you come? We met at Woodlawn Middle. Is that
Woodlawn Middle?
That's where you went, Woodlawn Middle?
That was my first assignment in Baltimore County.
Wow. Okay. Now I can't. I'm wondering how long had you been there? I let's see. I guess you were my 7th grade. I don't think I was in chorus in 6th grade, but I think 7th grade is when we met. So I'm 12. I'm in the 7th grade, and so you went straight to Woodlawn. Okay. I didn't realize that. And then
And I was at Woodlawn about
Yeah.
somewhere between 8 and 12 years. I would have to sit down and calculate the years, but I was at Woodlawn for a very long time.
Gotcha. And then from Woodlawn, that's when you transferred over to Milford.
To Milford.
Yeah. Okay, so for everybody, I'm gonna do a quick reset to bring you up to speed. For those that are hanging out now here in Clubhouse and those who are joining on Facebook. First of all, good morning to you. Happy Monday to you. I am excited, as always, because I get a chance to just hang out and talk to people, which is, because of my mama, one of the greatest things for me to do. It's the thing that piques my interest, piques my curiosity, like the whole nine, because it's all about learning from others and, developing and keeping relationships. So this morning, I get a chance to talk to someone who I don't even think he knows how much of an impact he actually had on the man that you all see today, the person you are listening to today, the musician that just finished doing 150 street serenades, which I'm still so happy about. Oh my goodness. This person, I don't think you all know, I don't think he knows how much he had an impact on that. So I'm hanging out with my middle school and then transferred to high school music teacher, Fernando Allen. My mentor, like the person who I sat down with, who gave me private lessons, He passed on in 2004, Dr. Maurice Johnson. Besides him, Mr. Fernando Allen is exactly next in line as people that I hold in that same regard, who I see as a mentor, who I see as someone who was an influencer on my journey, and someone who did something that was unconventional, and it literally made for the life that you see today. And I'm wondering if he remembers that. So we're going to chop it up on that tip. So, Fernando, you and I meet in middle school. You're my chorus teacher in middle school at Woodlawn Middle. I remember what that was like. I mean, it was my first time in chorus. You know, I really enjoyed your approach to teaching. I enjoyed your passion, you know, for the music and for voices and that kind of thing. And we had a lot of good times there. You know, we had a lot of good times, a lot of rowdy times, a lot of times, period. Oh man. And so those were the times there. I had never been in chorus before, and it was the first time that my ears got open to harmony and that kind of thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You know, is that something, like, when it comes to working with children, was that something for you that, you know, piqued your interest because kids are young and you like to share music with them? I mean, like, what made you want to work with children? Or was it like, did you have one of those paths where it was like, there's some people who were going to school for one thing or striving to be, you know, going in a particular direction musically, and then teaching happened to be something that they did where they were like, well, I'll do that to have a steady job, to be like, how did you arrive at being a choir director a chorus teacher in school?
Well, as your mother and I alluded to, right, earlier in my life, during my teenage years, I became the choir director.
Right.
I used to play I began playing the piano.
Right.
In early elementary school. I grew up in a musical family. My grandmother, the late Dorothy Allen, was she played piano. She was a lead singer in the church choir in Fountain Baptist Church. And then my uncle, her youngest son,
right,
Joe Allen, was a jazz organist.
Oh, wow.
And he, back in the day, the 70s and 80s, he owned 2 jazz clubs, one down on Madison Street, before they tore that whole area down and redesigned the area, and then one up on North Rutland Avenue.
Okay.
That was a very prosperous jazz club. So I would go there time to time, learn just fiddle faddle on the organ, right, till I really learned, and then through the churches, listening and watching church musicians play. Right. That's how I learned. I never officially learned organ. Yeah. I did it by watching people doing it.
People, yeah.
I went to college not just as a music education major, but I was actually a piano major as well.
Oh, wow.
So I studied various genres of classical music.
Right.
Even at Towson University was a part of the starting a gospel music choir. And then later years,
wow, you started a gospel music choir at Towson.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And then later years, what is her name? Daisy Jordan, I believe her name. Daisy Jordan. She came there. I think she was an alumni of Towson State.
Right.
And she brought people from the community who had nothing to do with, they were not students at Towson. But she just, because I guess she couldn't get students at Towson, she brought people from the community. Then I was hired by Towson University to work with them.
Oh, wow.
So I did that for a few years.
That's a lot of experience. I'm just thinking about how much experience this gave you, in different ways, like working with people, working in different formulas, different systems, different age groups, a lot of different personalities and talent. Like, you've had a lot of experience,
yes,
when it comes to this.
And one of the greatest experience I had for about 15 years or so, I was music director at St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church in East Baltimore.
Oh, wow.
St. Francis is very historic church. It was the first African American Catholic church in the world, in the United States. First African American Catholic church in the United States. And in 1970, they started a gospel choir under, I believe it was Bill Cummings, Eric Scott, Eric Scott. Oh, okay. I forget Eric's last name. And they were going on. So in 1974, I was hired to take over the choir and minister music at St. Francis Xavier. Right. And we really developed a choir that was rather unique. Right. We had the opportunity of traveling throughout the country because gospel choir in the Catholic Church was a novelty. So we traveled throughout the United States. We were in Rome a couple of times. Wow. We were actually invited, and we performed at St. Peter's Basilica. Most choirs, when they go to Rome, they never are invited to perform, but we were invited specifically to perform at St. Peter's Basilica. We had an audience with the Pope, the late John Paul II, Pope John Paul II. So and at St. Francis, we did a variety. We didn't just do gospel. It was named a gospel choir, but we did anthems. We did oratorios. We performed with Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, Peabody's Orchestra. We did oratorios. We did anthems. We did a cappella spiritual. Even for some of the gospel music we did, I arranged the orchestral parts. The orchestral scores and had them accompanying us. And so that brought on other things, brought attention, especially when other people heard us performing, heard the orchestra performing with us doing gospel music. So,
so
that was a great thing.
Right. You literally are the real definition of been around the world and like you have had so much diverse experience,
Yes.
And this is why I was looking forward to this conversation, because again, I think about who I am. I think about the people that have influenced and impacted me, and I also think about the experiences that have. And so I like to learn even more about the experiences of the people that have impacted me in that way. So now I learn a whole lot more as far as what you were doing and had done even before I met you at 12 years old in Woodlawn Middle School. It's amazing.
Exactly.
So, I was there you were the chorus teacher, and then you had Marshall Barnes, who was the music appreciation teacher. For those that don't know Marshall Barnes, he's actually...
Okay, go.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, who actually was I think I took music appreciation in 8th grade at Woodlawn Middle. He was my music appreciation teacher, and then I would later run into Marshall Barnes again when I got my very first church job. He was the organist that was there playing for the early service, and I would wind up playing for the noon service. And we rekindled. This all became really significant for me because, again, these are two men that were a part of my childhood, that were a part of the beginning of my musical journey, way before I was even interested in music or even knew I had a music ability, because I wasn't into music at all. Again, I didn't start playing the piano until I was 21, and I didn't start studying until I was 19. I got into hip hop at 14. I was sitting on my father's porch, and I decided, instead of playing with my brothers that day, I decided to take this tape recorder, and I was listening to music. I was already into poetry. My mom used to always comment on the poems that I would write her as a kid inside the holiday cards. And so I decided to write out the lyrics to one of my favorite group at the time, Wu-Tang Clan, to a couple of their songs. And that's what got me. I recited the song, and then I kind of liked it. And then before you know it, I wrote my own rap. And then that started going in the direction musically for me. From 14 to 16, I was one of a 3-person group. In fact, Terrence Rashawn Clark.
Okay, yes. I remember him well.
Exactly. Yes. And he was one of the other people in the group. In fact, it was myself, Terrence Clark, and Will Randall. And I think you remember Will Randall.
I was ready to say that name rings a bell. Yes.
Yeah. I'll show you a picture of him. You'll definitely remember him. So we were a 3-person trio. We were a positive rap group. Our parents supported us. It was great because it was a positive thing. We would do it after school, and it was constructive time. And at 16, Terrence Clark, he was one of the first in our group of friends to get a car. So the way I tell the story is at 16, he got a car, he got a girlfriend, and he got the hell away from us because he was gone. So Terrence was the original producer for the group. He was the one that was making the music. And so I said to myself, well, wait a minute. Like, we can't just let the group go down. I mean, we're happy for him. You know, we like his girlfriend. She's cool. But man, she took him away from us. You know, she took him away from us. So I was like, I can't let the group go down. And I was used to, because we were in a few of the local studios around the neighborhood. And so I started becoming familiar with the equipment. So one of the things that I was used to seeing was an ASR 10 keyboard. And that was a keyboard that was also a sampler. It was a synth workstation. So I was like, well, maybe I can get an ASR 10, and that way I can try my hand at it, and maybe we can, you know, I've got to keep this group going. I happened to have a really good job at that time with Terrence. Like, and this is another sidebar story that's really interesting. Terrence and I at 16 in 1997 was making $10.50 an hour. $10.50 an hour. And we were working 25 hours a week. And we were in the 10th grade, and nobody knew it until now. And here's the thing about that. That was another monumental experience that I'm really grateful for, because at 16, his father knew someone that worked at a Jessup warehouse. And so he got us jobs there. And after school, we used to work after school there. What that gave me was, at 16, y'all, in 1997, I was making $250 a week.
Yeah, that was excellent. Outstanding for a 16-year-old.
And I was still living at home with my mama. A mother who was nurturing and who made sure I had everything that I need. I'm the only child, but I wasn't spoiled. She had that balance. So I had the perfect scenario for the seeds of success. That was that soil. This is a part of that soil. Now, this is, believe it or not, I'm actually telling you all one small little square patch of a huge field of these kind of experiences, which is why I'm so grateful and why I like to have these conversations. So I say, I can't let the group go down. And I got this job making $1,000 a month. So I say, you know what? I'm going to go out and buy an ASR 10. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask my mom if she could front me the money. And this piece of equipment that I wanted was $1,100. Wanted to ask my mother if she could front me the money. I would pay her back over the next 4 weeks. She said yes, and invested in my dream like a good mom should. And then what that birthed was me having that piece of equipment. I would start to make music, and from there, I would start to develop into the producer that I am today.
Okay.
So here's the interesting part about it, though, because it gets even more fascinating. So as monumental as that is, during that time, or I would say actually before that time, I want to say that it was leading into that time. Yeah, it was. So before that monumental time, there was something else that happened that, man, it's like the perfect aligning of stars, and it had to do with you, Fernando Allen.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I get to Milford Mill High School in 9th grade, and I'm in your class. I'm in chorus, right? I'm happy because I know you, so I feel comfortable with you. So boom. And then at this point, I started having an appreciation for music to at least a good enough degree to where it was one of the fun classes in the midst of the rest of the classes in school, some which were useless. But anyway, more on that later. Yo, why they take home ec out of school? Why they take home ec out of school, Mr. Allen? When we were, you know what I mean? Home ec, tech ed. When I was in Woodlawn Middle, they took out the classes that were needed. Anyway, more on that. As they say, that's another sermon for another day, right? So, so we're here. I'm in 9th grade. I'm in chorus. I go through that, have a successful year. I pass the class. Come back 10th grade. So 10th grade, and actually I think this might have been, let me see, what's this, 9th to 10th or 10th to 11th? I think it was 9th to 10th. Okay, so I come back 10th grade, and when I lay out my schedule, for some reason, I have a spot in my schedule where I just need to fill it with an elective. I have all the classes that I need for credit, and then you have, electives. Yeah. So I had a space. So they were like, well, what do you want to put there? So what I decided was I was going to actually take chorus again. Now, most people don't think about it this way because usually when you graduate a class, then you go on to something else or you might try something different. But of course, not with music classes. But what I was thinking was I'm going to take chorus again. And what I'm going to do is ask Mr. Allen, Mr. Fernando Allen, if he will allow me to come in the class, and instead of being in the main part of the class where you had the seats for the choir, you had 2 rooms, one for the choir, and then you had the back room, which was the keyboard lab, and it had about 10, 15, 20 keyboards in there. So I said what I was going to do was take this class again, and then I was just going to ask Mr. Allen if I could come into class and instead of doing chorus, just go in the keyboard lab, close the door, bring my headphones, bring my tape recorder, and if I could practice being a producer, if I could start like trying to produce, trying to put things together. And man, it's bringing me to tears thinking about it because man. And so I asked Fernando, and I never forget what you said. You said, okay, look, you said, as long as you don't disturb my class, I'll let you come in, you can do that, and, I'll let you take this class and I'll pass you as long as you don't disturb, as long as you don't do it. And I was like, you have no idea, you have no problem, because this was just the opportunity that I needed to pour into something that started becoming meaningful to me and would later just changed my whole life. It was my passion. It was the thing I was into. It was the thing where sometimes kids don't get the opportunity to because they're told by a system that they should focus on this or that, or their parents who mean well but just don't know what the hell they're talking about at the time because they're still trying to figure out their life too and all in between. But I got the opportunity to do that. So I came into that room, and every day I would go in there, I would practice production. And that's how I learned how to be a producer. I was able to hone my craft in Mr. Allen's class.
Okay. You're welcome. You're very welcome.
And the reason, so there's 2 teachers in high school that for me were the greatest teachers I've ever had. And it's not because of what they did as far as what the curriculum laid out for them to do. It was something else that they did that was above and beyond, that tailored it more towards the child. Because what we're learning, I'm in school for psychotherapy, been in school for psychotherapy for a year just to become a professional empath and continue to go down this beautiful path of psychology that I have such a passion for. And what we've learned is that there's no such thing as a cookie cutter education. Everybody is different. Everybody learns different ways. Everybody processes different ways. So there's two teachers. You're one of them with what you did there. And my social studies teacher in 10th grade, Dawn Coleman, she came in the first day and she said, yeah, basically in a nutshell, all of that bull about Christopher Columbus, we're going to go over that in 2 days. And then after that, I'm going to teach you about your real history. And she proceeded to take the rest of the year to teach us about Africa and ancient Kemet and Egypt and energy and chakras and auras and our personal power and natural skincare and hair care. And you couldn't keep the kids out of her class. Even after school, we were piled in there on top of each other. It changed our lives. Good. So what you did there was something that was unconventional. Most teachers don't do that. To say that you can come in a class and you can do something else as long as, that's in your interest. And I don't think, and I've never asked you, so I can ask you now. Had you ever done that for anybody else, and have you since?
No.
Wow.
And no.
Wow. That.
Well, let me say this. Especially at Milford,
right?
I've met quite a few young musicians who were already playing in churches.
Right.
So I did offer those opportunities. I remember. I remember. I think his name was Daryl Green. I can't remember the name.
Daryl Green.
Oh, Daryl Green.
Yeah.
And the guy who was pastor at the Empowerment Temple. I can't call his name. And there was a couple of the other musicians.
Right.
And some phenomenal singers.
Wow.
You mentioned earlier Terrence Clark.
Right.
Terrence Clark is
a
phenomenal singer.
Right.
He invited my men's choir, to his church maybe about 4 years ago. And I heard this man sing and his wife sing, you know. And I mean, so there was just wonderful talents that came through there. And then we would have concerts at the school, and I would feature Terrence. Tania, I don't remember Tania.
Oh, yeah, I remember Tania, right.
Yes, Tania was another. She was a phenomenal singer.
Wow.
And these guys who were playing the piano, they would write songs, and I would let them teach it to the gospel choir.
Wow.
So, yeah, there were other students who showed extraordinary talents and who's working in it now, who's still working in that genre of music now.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm going to see if I can get Terrence up in here. I'm actually texting him now, see if I can get him in here. Because, yeah, you're right. I mean, wow. I mean, I tell you, for you to do that, though, and for you to feel inclined, like you would have no idea how much that would actually change a whole person's future.
Right. You never know.
Yeah, it allowed me to come in. I was serious about it, so it wasn't even like something that was just, I was just trying to fart around. Like I was serious about it, and it gave me the space and it gave me the consistency because I knew where I was going to be every day. I came prepared. It gave me that. It gave me the ability to explore just my right brain artistic side. It gave me the the ability to just hone my craft, and the fact that it was in a public school, like the fact that it was during school time, like it's so yeah. I don't know if I can't remember if I shared this with you before, but I just couldn't wait to share it with you because I was like, yeah, he has to know that right there was one of the most monumental things that impacted my life. And in that way, I see you like how I see my mentor. Like you have that impact on my life. And then you wrote one of my favorite gospel songs, Lord, I am
what is that?
Lord, I am so grateful. So for everyone that doesn't know, if you've ever heard the gospel song, Lord, I am so grateful, it was written by Fernando Allen. And in fact, I'm going to see if I could find it here on YouTube. I'm going to pull it up and pin it at the top so you all can save it. But yeah, so between that,
the good version. Hold up, let me.
Okay, go ahead.
Look it up. the really good version of
Right.
Lord, I Am So Grateful is not on YouTube. We're in the process of working with an IT staff who's establishing a new website and going to establish a new presentation on Facebook and YouTube and all that for us. So some of the things that were on there, we pulled off until we're ready to land the whole project.
Right. That makes sense.
So right now it's been temporarily removed.
Okay, cool. No problem. We'll definitely be sharing that in the near future. So here's what's interesting. I also just, looked you up on YouTube, and I'm looking at someone has a tribute to Fernando Allen of Baltimore. And man, the first thing, so I've had not only an opportunity to be impacted by Fernando Allen, but also his offspring, Belgian Allen, who's one of my biggest musical influences here in Baltimore. And I've had the opportunity to not only play with him, but he's a part of my group, Fruition Experience. And so I was scrolling down YouTube and I just saw this tribute, and man, your son is a spit image of you, because I swore I was looking at Belgian. I was like, man, what Belgian doing in that? Wait a minute, I'm like, oh man. So but whether it's what you did for me in high school, whether it's your career, I mean, you've written songs, you've directed so many choirs, for those that don't know that are here in the Baltimore area, or even if you aren't, you probably heard of the New Psalmist Baptist Church. And are you still there at New Psalmist?
Kind of laying back, because my job there primarily was a choir conductor.
Right.
My choir conductor, and we can't have big choirs right now because of the pandemic.
For sure.
So I've been doing some substitute work at other churches, substituting for musicians who are out ill and wanted a break or whatever, so I've been doing that type of thing, just filling in here and there.
I love it. So I'll tell you this, couple funny memories, right? So when I think about middle school, one of the things that used to be funny in your class was like when we would have the days off, right? So you just have your random free day, and when you would bring out the TV, y'all remember the TV where you sit on top of the stand, and they got the latch over the top, or the band to hold it in. I think every school had that TV in that. And so I remember used to bring that out and play Sister Act 2. And we love Sister Act, but after a while we was like, if he plays Sister Act one more time, can we watch something else? Oh man, that used to be funny times. And then the other funny thing is when we were cutting up as a class, which I know every class did. I mean, that's one thing I have to say to you. Like, this is one of those things where, like with your parents, you learn later when they're like, wait till you have kids, then you gonna understand. This is like later on when I became a teacher, I understood. I'm like, oh my goodness. We can give a music teacher hell. What used to be funny to me was when you be fussing us out, you would, and I don't know if you remember this, but this is hilarious. When you would be fussing us out, it would be sounding like you wanted to curse at us, but you wouldn't curse. So you would just say like all these words that started with F. You'd be like, if y'all don't sit y'all froggy, frickle, finicky, flavorful, funny, feisty. Like, he want to curse us out so bad.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, fun times. Or, one of the things my friends and I, last one I say my friends and I crack up about is, when if we'd be giving you the blues and you look at us and you'd be like, all right, you only had one word for us and it would shut us down. You'd be like, okay, so you want to act up? Okay, 0. Okay, oh, you want to act up too? Okay, cool, 0. We'd be like, no, we won't get no more zeros. Okay. Oh man, so those are some of the fun times. I know you've had, I can imagine, that the same is vice versa for you. Becoming a music teacher, and especially me being in a classroom and I work with kids and just see the dynamic. I know you've had like a lot of interesting and fascinating and amazing times with kids and music. Like, I can imagine the times where you notice, like in the midst of something, how genius a kid was, or you heard a voice that you knew like instantaneously, like even though it was the first time that anyone had heard it, but you could hear that this person was going far, or someone resembled someone else. Like, I know this has had to be a fascinating journey for you on both sides of the coin, from teaching to directing and teaching adults. Like, you've had a very rich and full musical life.
Yes, I have. Thank the Lord. I have. And I'm going to say something about Woodlawn Middle.
Yeah.
Woodlawn Middle, we had a noted music program there.
Really?
We would go to the, you remember the adjudications where the choirs came from the various schools, and we had to sing before these panel of judges and sight read.
Right.
Well, Woodlawn, we were very fortunate to always developing a good choral program where we would be rated high in the county. We would do state festivals. We would do regional festivals, come home with trophies and all. So, the talents that came through Woodlawn Middle, and I'm going to say more Woodlawn Middle than so forth in Milford. That the young talents that were at Woodlawn Middle, and when they cooperated, and I could really pull out a good singing aggregation out of them, they always excelled when it comes to standing up against other middle school choirs.
Wow. That's amazing. Wow. So, I want to know this from you. When I think about music and I think about like my tenure, I'm one of those people that feel like when it comes to retirement, I mean, there's, a way to retire. There's a bunch of things that we can and should do in order to take care of the rest of our life. We gotta live past the times that we worked. But like, one thing I love about being a musician is I don't ever feel like I'll retire from wanting to share music in some way. Even, you know what I mean? Even past when my ability, or when I have the lack of ability to play anymore, even when I can't play anymore, like I feel like in some way, I'm excited about just how I'll continue to partake and to share. One of the deepest memories for me, my mentor, again, and like I said, when I talk to you right now, it gives me that feeling. Like it really fulfills me in that same way. When I think about my mentor, my last moments with him, my mentor passed of brain cancer suddenly in 2004. In 2 weeks, he had a headache, and 2 weeks later he was gone. And I was able to spend those last days with him. And I have to say that I was with my mentor for 1.5 years, and after that we stretched to about 2 years before he got sick. In the last 6 months of those 2 years, we switched seats, where he was the one in the student seat and I was at the piano, and he was taking notes. And it was amazing. It was the most amazing thing for me to give back to someone else who I owe my entire musical life to. So, there was that. And then when I was with him in the hospital after that, he couldn't even really communicate. But I would bring in the music with me, and I would, and literally his whole body would come to life.
Okay.
His whole body would come to life. And I'd be saying to him, look, listen, I can hear the one chord, I can hear the four. I was singing the notes and playing some of his favorite songs. So, I'm so grateful to have this journey and have had to have this opportunity to be a musician in this life. And I know that you can say the same thing.
It's very, very rewarding. Very rewarding.
Right.
Especially as you have been alluding to, especially when teaching in middle school, high school, hearing outstanding talents,
Right.
and seeing students as you. And I alluded to Terrence Clark, who's a outstanding singer to this day. As I said, I was at his church he invited me with one of my choirs to his church about 4 years ago.
Right.
And I mean, to hear this guy really sounding like, he should have been on the top of the charts.
Wow.
On the top of the chart. Tania, she was singing in the church. I mean, she should have been on top of the charts. I mean, Ronald Green.
Oh yeah, Ronald Green.
The minister of music at a huge big church. I think something Bridge down in Columbia, Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal work down there. And so, I mean, there have been many students who I've run across,
right?
Who's just doing outstanding work.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful. So before we tie a bow on this convo, I'm curious, like, so I've learned so much about you, and like I said, I'm always so grateful to learn about a person's story, like even more about their story, because it really informs me of the person that I know, and even why they impact me so deeply. Maybe just in their being, just in their journey. And I love to find out why through these stories. So, when I turn those tables, is there anything that you are curious about as far as myself, my career, this journey, is there anything that you like to ask me when it comes to anything you like to know about my journey? I mean, we haven't talked in so long.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to talk to you.
First thing I would like to say, how extremely proud I am of you.
Wow.
For the great, I often listen to your videos. You're posting all the time.
Right.
So I do stop and listen to your videos. Right. And I've been very proud. And I started this conversation yesterday. You said we would talk about it today.
Right.
That I'm kind of, I'm constantly writing music. I don't have a choir under my belt right now.
Right.
But I'm writing music that I would like to get put out. And
right.
And I was hearing you talking about earlier how you do the whole thing on your keyboard. Do the horn section, the string section.
Right.
Get the right background going in there.
Right.
So
yeah, we got
how did you develop this? How did you take what you're doing and you becoming a 6-figure annually company, music organization?
Right. So an infatuation with production, and then what I wound up doing was, at some point, I was able to get my first music job at 21. Ebenezer AME Church. At 21, I was able to leave my job at Standard Auto Parts, my 9-to-5, and I was able to move into that. I was making $100 more a week, and my hours went from my job taking me 40 hours a week to my job taking me about 10 to 12 hours a week. Mm-hmm. So what I decided to do was to take the other 30 hours a week and keep my same schedule. My schedule, I shifted it to match the secretary who was at the church, who would be down there. So I would be down at the church from like 9 to like 3. And I put those 30 hours a week into studying music. Took a half an hour lunch break in the middle, just like I was at work. What that did was it started opening up the door for me, because at this point, I started being able to go back to what it was like for my childhood with my mother. I got a chance to start just exploring and just becoming educated by, finding out about different things, exploring different instruments. I started studying the orchestra. I started learning drums. I bought a bass. I started studying organ. And like you, I started teaching myself organ. And then I got a pipe organ teacher. I started learning pipe organ. I always wanted to go to school for audio engineering, and I didn't think I was going to be able to go because my school at that time didn't take financial aid when I got out of high school. But later on, I would call them, and they told me that they would take grants, and so then I was able to go to school for that. So I was studying engineering. I'm learning about the orchestra. I'm learning arranging. I just like dived into a sea of just fun exploration. I was just a kid in a candy store, because for me, music was just something that I started off with just for that brought me fun, brought me therapy, and was fun to share with other people. So I took it to the moon. What I would find out during that time, from 2003 when I got the job, and then over the next course of the year, 2, 3, what I would find out was that I had a knack for entrepreneurship and business. I had a knack for other styles of music as I would branch out and start studying the other genres of music. And then, because I was so infatuated with live instrumentation, that's when I decided I want to reproduce that as a producer myself. Now, at that time, there were actually 2 other people that had the same idea that I had. They just didn't have the business side or see it from the entrepreneurship side like I did. And so one of those people, I believe do you know Charles Oglesby?
Yes.
Yeah, Charles Oglesby was my first inspiration when it came to doing what I would wind up making hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tracks. It was Charles Oglesby was the first, and then I had a next door neighbor that was the second. So Charles happened to be applying for the job at Ebenezer too, or at least he was being considered for the job. But he wound up not taking the job, but we met and became friends and started connecting. And one day when I was down at the church, he brought his keyboard, and he was playing the keyboard for the service, and I was playing the organ. And after we finished, he said, "Man, I want to let you hear something." He loaded up his keyboard, he pressed play, and he was playing like songs like "Lord, I Lift Your Name on High" and like the Doxology and like "Order My Steps" and these different songs. And I'm listening to this keyboard sound like a live band. I'm listening to him do drum chops and rolls and bass fills and all kinds of things. And for me, that was fascinating because I was already into I was already into production. It was the same thing. It just was stretched out on a higher musical level with more theory and arrangements and that kind of thing. So he inspired me. And then my next door neighbor, one day I was driving home and I was playing a CD in the car by my favorite group, one of my favorite jazz groups, the Yellow Jackets. And he said, "Man, you must be a musician because you're listening to Yellow Jackets." He came over. He brought a CD over. He said, "I want to let you hear something." And he played a CD. The CD had like 12 gospel songs on there that he made all with his Kawai keyboard. And these things sound better than like some bands that I've heard. Like they were just that good. So I had the same desire to do that just for the fun and for the creativity of it. But then when I looked at the market, I was like, well, there are more churches out here than there are musicians, and there's more soloists and groups and individuals who need music than there are musicians, and that there are tracks, and even the tracks that are out here are kind of cheesy. So I started doing tracks for $50 a song so I could help local groups. Local groups would just come to me, and for $50 a song, I would put together a track that sounded like a live band. At some point, I had a library of at least 50 songs that I had done like this. And they were just on my hard drive at this point because I had already made them for the customer.
And this is of other people's music that you produced.
Right. I would take cover tunes. Sometimes they would do cover tunes. Sometimes they would do original songs. So I would do both. It would be whatever they needed, But I had a library of at least 50 cover songs that I had done for people. And I'm looking at this library and I'm like, well, the job's already done. I was like, what if I take this and turn it into a library and actually from here just start making songs, making tracks that people can just use all around the world, because there's a lot of songs you can't find. And like I said, even the ones you can, a lot of them don't have that soulful flavor that people are used to from the Black church. And that's what I did. And I sat down and I started studying those instruments. Before you know it, I started cranking out tracks. I started putting these tracks online. I put together my own store. Now, here was a big caveat though. big turning point. Hey, Samantha. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Samantha, come on up to the stage, Samantha, if you like. I would love to say hi. And you get a chance to meet my music teacher from middle school, high school, my mama, friend Tony. And if not, I hope you enjoyed this experience. Hope you're enjoying it in the background. Oh, Samantha's coming up. Everybody, let's say good morning to Samantha. Good morning, Samantha.
Good morning, Samantha.
Hi, good morning. This is my first Clubhouse stage.
Okay, so for everybody, in fact, this is a good moment right here. So I want to show Fernando, I want to show you something. So when you're on Clubhouse and somebody is like, you're applauding or something amazing happens, the way we do it is everybody flashes their mic. So everybody here, if you could just flash your mic real quick, just want to show you. That's how we celebrate Samantha.
Okay.
Samantha, good morning. This is my mom, Cheryl. This is my music teacher from middle and high school and good friend, Fernando Allen, and my good friend and musician, brother, Tony Martin.
Awesome. Hello, everyone.
Hi there.
Hello. How are you, Sam?
Good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
That's so good. So, Samantha, you came right in the middle of this great conversation, been chopping it up with Fernando, sharing about, so many things about how he impacted my life and these kind of things. For everybody that's here now, or if you're on Facebook hanging out with us, hey, when we finish this experience, hit the replay from the top. All you got to do is just hit my little profile picture and that'll take you to my bio. You just scroll down and you'll see this hit replay, take it from the top so you can hear the entire story and all the fill-in. So yeah, Samantha, you got to do that later. You're going to enjoy that.
Awesome.
But I'll say where we picked it up right now, where you jumped in was, where I was just sharing with Fernando. I was asking him if he had any questions for me. And so we were talking about my journey and how I got to the point of Fruition Music, which I think that might be, is that how we met or did we meet through Nikki?
It is. Well, it was probably both.
Both, okay.
Because, I was definitely familiar with Fruition, but Nikki and I definitely helped us connect further.
Right. Yeah, so I was telling him, at this point in the story, I was saying where I left my job, I'm looking at the market. I'm working for churches, and I'm looking at the market, and I'm realizing there's more churches, more groups, more soloists than there are musicians or good tracks. I started doing tracks for $50 a track for local groups and developed a library of at least 50 tracks. And after being inspired by Charles Oglesby and my next door neighbor at that time who also did tracks, I was like, you know what? This could be a business. So I created my first store. At first, I was selling, this is a little sidebar for entrepreneurs. I was first selling my tracks for like $25 a track, but it was on a website. And since I was new, nobody knew about it. So I was like, I thought about this analogy in my head. Shout out to mom for the help with the imagination again when I was younger. So I started thinking, I'm like, to me, this is like having a house out on a back road in the middle of nowhere where it's there, it's got good stuff, but nobody knows about it and hardly anybody drives past. So iTunes and Amazon and those stores were just opening up. And I said, you know what? Instead of being the store out on the back, like the amazing store with the good prices that are fit for the work that I put in, and actually not really fit because they still should have been more than that. I'll tell y'all about what the Daywind company president told me. Daywind is the biggest soundtrack company in like gospel and Christian music. I'll tell you what they told me when I talked to them. But I was like, instead of having a store on a back road out in the middle of nowhere, I'm gonna see my store as in the middle of a mall, a shopping mall. And what I'm gonna do is iTunes and Amazon is like a shopping mall where nobody is looking for me because they don't know me, but they're walking right past me. And I knew because and this is for everyone, I knew what I had was valuable. I saw the worth and the value in what I had enough to know that all I needed to do was put it in the right place. And so that's what I did. I took my tracks from $25 a track and I dropped it to 99 cents. And I knew that this was taking a huge risk, but I was like, this will add up actually more so. And I'm in the midst of the traffic. The traffic is there. People are looking for what I desire. They just don't know I'm here. Boom. And the rest is history. The first year I made $800 The second year, I made $10,000. The third year, I made $29,000. The fourth year, I made $45,000. And then it went from 45 to 83 to 130. Fruition Music became a global business.
Excellent. Outstanding.
And you owe me some money.
I love it. I got you, man. They say, let me borrow $2. Let me borrow $2. I owe mom royalties. I owe mom birth royalties.
Yeah, you do. You do. I just want to say,
yes, sir.
I need to jump off, but this has been so soul enriching. This has been amazing. Just coming and hearing. And even though I know we've never met, I spent about 10 years leading a worship ministry in Baltimore, so I was very familiar, with all of the different schools and places that you guys mentioned. And Mr. Fernando, you have no idea, I'm sure, what your mentorship has resulted in. But I tell you what, man, when you mentor young men, it's like planting apple seeds. And Mom, you just, Aaron loves you so much. And most of our conversation is pretty much centered around you. We'll talk about music. I'm asking him a question, and he's in the middle of answering. Then it shifts to you, and I'm thinking, Aaron, that's awesome, but you still haven't answered my question. Oh yeah. We'll get back to that, but right. So this has been awesome. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, Tony. Oh my gosh, man. Like I was saying yesterday, man, I appreciate your words. And man, from yesterday to today, I was like, Tony, the only thing I want you to do now, bro, is tune, jump in, tune into the show. Cause I promise you, everything that you're saying, here's how I can stand in accountability with you. So man, thanks so much for hanging out. I'm here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 to 11, a lot of times over, because I like to talk to people, as you can see. So by all means, Tony, you're welcome back anytime. Definitely. And I'm glad you got a chance to meet everyone as well. Anybody else want to say anything to Tony?
Tony, have a good day and keep up your good work.
Yeah. Yes. Take care, family.
Thank you. I will. I'm headed to campus now, and so God bless y'all, and I can't wait to jump on, Wednesday and possibly Friday as well. So
yeah,
take care.
That's wonderful. Take care, Tony. Have a great one. Yes, family. Quick reset right before we go a little bit further. We're going to 11 o'clock. That's 10 minutes, y'all. Unless, of course, another friend comes in. Then I'll be staying because I can't resist. I want to say thanks to everybody that's been hanging out here so far. As always, the AP Morning Show is such a fun experience. See, when I think about accountability and accountability partners, it's about everything in life, not just one topic or one subject. Because the truth of the matter is that it takes a whole lot to be a human being. So the best way we can stand in accountability with each other is to stand with each other on the range of experiences and topics. And so that's what we're doing today, as always. I want to say thanks to everybody who's hanging out on Facebook Live. Yes. And one more thing, this background experience. This is another outcome from even this experience, what I talked about with Fernando Allen and just the impact that he had. This right here is Societal Exchange. And I wrote this as I was walking through the Baltimore Farmers Market with my family. Just inspired by all the people. gonna let y'all check this out just for about 30 seconds. And while you're doing that, look at the top of your screen. You're gonna see a pinned link at the top of your screen on Clubhouse. If you click that link, then this song will automatically save to your phone wherever you already listen to music. So just touch it, even while we're hanging out here, and I'll be right back. Societal exchange. It was a societal exchange. That was where my inspiration came from. The Baltimore Farmers Market. One of my favorite places to be here in Baltimore. All right. Good. Thank you. You enjoyed that?
That was awesome. I was actually just about to ask you how you got this amazing music in the background. That's Clubhouse on another level.
Yeah, Clubhouse on another level. Clubhouse on another level. Clubhouse on another level. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I got my hookup over here. You know me. This is another one of those moments brought to you by innovation. So I'm over here in my studio, and I got my phone and plugged up to my studio and everything, my interface, doing it up. You know, I'm so grateful. In fact, quick pause for the cause. I am so grateful for this application. When I tell you all that Clubhouse to me is the most significant thing on the planet when it comes to social connection, I really mean that. And the reason why I say is because, as you see, it removes like the barriers. It makes it so easy. There's no video, there's no pictures. People don't have to be insecure. You can just pop on and flow when you want. You can pop in and out. You could just listen in, or you could be a part of the conversation. And you can go anywhere in this app. If you hit that hallway button and you search, you can go anywhere in this app and find exactly the type of conversation that you're into and interested in. What are you into? Just type it in, and I promise you, there are people live talking about it, and you'll either be able to add something or walk away with something that will change your life. I promise you.
Good.
Yes. There are churches on here. There are entire churches having services on here. There are musicians having concerts. I have a concert every Friday on here. Sundays, I do, the 5M mindfulness and meditation experience. Got the morning show here. I used to do a quote thing on Saturday where people just hang out and share their favorite quotes. I'm starring in an audio drama the second week, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you click on my profile, you'll see that at the bottom. Cigar Bar, Scripts, and Red Bottom Poetry. It's an entire play in production. Like, this right here is it. It's the future. It is the now. And I got on here December 3rd and met 1,500 people immediately that's been with me every day since. Like, it's flat potent. Yeah. So that moment was brought to you by the poster child for Clubhouse. Like, I really tell everybody about this environment, this app. So yeah, family, that's that. I hope that you save that societal exchange, use that for your mindfulness and meditation and all that good jazz. Yeah, Samantha, what's going on with you? How are you? Everything okay?
Yeah, everything is great. I am actually getting back in Clubhouse. I've been on for a while, but I have not used it to its fullest extent.
Right.
So just popping back in to check it out again.
Oh man, I so love it. I so love it.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't get that link though. Where was it supposed to be?
So look right over your head. Hey,
okay.
Right over your head. So look under where it says, you see at the top of the screen where it says the AP Morning Show?
Mm-hmm.
Now look down. You see that block? Do you see Societal Exchange before you get to our profile pictures?
No, I think so. I might be on the wrong view.
Oh, actually, let's see. What type of phone are you on? Maybe it's that.
Well, I'm on my iPad.
Okay, it should be all right. So maybe pull down your screen. Maybe refresh. I don't know.
Okay.
If it doesn't show, I'll tell you what. In fact, I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to actually hit it in your DMs. I'm going to paste it.
Oh, perfect.
All right, paste. There you go. And that's the other thing. For those that don't know, this has a DM feature bottom right-hand corner right above your microphone. If you see that little airplane, that is your back channel or your DMs. That's one of the new things here. And the other thing is, I mention it, but I can't mention it enough. Replays. Any experience that you hear here on Clubhouse, if the creator has replays on, that means it's basically being recorded and archived, and you can go back and listen to it from the top, share it with your friends, take snippets from it, like have fun being able to have that experience again. So yeah, Samantha, I'm so excited about this. As you can see,
this sounds amazing.
Yes.
I'm hitting you up for a tutorial on this.
You know it.
Background though, because I needed some theme music.
Oh snap! Nice. All right. You got it. One of the other things that I'm going to share with you all here in a few seconds before we get out of here is two things I want to do, and this is the way that I close out every experience. When I got into this application and when I launched this experience December 3rd, 2020, the title of my conversation was Good Morning, I'm your 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time accountability partner. My only goal was to check in with as many people as I could to see how they were doing and to see where I could stand in accountability with them as an accountability partner on their own personal goal, and then to wish them on their way to a productive day. That's what unfolded, and I met so many people, have developed so many relationships with so many people here. I'm talking about friendships, business relationships, like deep. So I say that to say I end each experience with that same. So I'm actually digging up one more thing to share with you all. But while I'm doing that, if there is any place that I can and that we can together as your accountability family stand in accountability with you on a personal goal for your day, for your week, for your life, by all means, I'd love for you to share it so that we can stand in accountability together.
Sounds good.
The floor is yours if you'd like to share. And if not, it's all good.
Well, in closing, go ahead, Samantha.
Yeah, I guess I would say I don't have a specific yet because I'm still narrowing down what the specific is, but the general goal is I want to make more room for creativity.
Yeah.
Just during every day.
I love it. To make more room for creativity every day. What would that do for you?
I think it would help me relax more.
Yes. It would help you
I
relax
tend to get into business mode or hustle mode or, all of those things. So I want to balance it out a little bit. Yes.
Balancing it out a bit is good. Especially when you realize that, honestly, like the key for you to actually do the other things, even the tough things, the not so tough things, is actually giving yourself that time. It's actually your fuel. It's your fuel, especially when you're an artist and a creative individual. And you know how it is, like when you're creative, like it doesn't turn around and go in the opposite direction. All it does is sit there inside you, waiting to just burst through, waiting for you to feed it. So to me, by doing this, like you're self-caring, you're feeding yourself really what you need. And then sometimes, and this is the thing, I know that this dilemma happens a lot. Sometimes we get caught in between what we want to do and what we need to do, what we have to do, what we're obligated to. So that could be a struggle. Sometimes it makes us push aside our creative time or not give it time at all because of the fact we're quote unquote doing what we gotta do. But the only thing I've learned, which is why my life is what it is that when I put the gotta do as when I put my creativity in that same category, then everything started to change. And then I realized something after that. Oh, it's literally that makes the difference. Because as long as you believe that it's important to put your creativity in there and to get it in just like everything else and not forsake it, it's like a child. You wouldn't not feed your second child just because your first one was hungry, right? Unless, you had no other choice. But we have the choice. So, yes, put in that first. The way I like to do it sometimes is to put it first. Samantha, what you might want to think about is actually finding 10 minutes. I used to do this with my mentor who taught me music. This is how I learned music. I made every activity 20 minutes. I've literally had a 20-minute a day practice schedule for years. Now, at one point, I was adding those 20 minutes up, where every 20 minutes I would switch to a different kind of thing. But late from the beginning, when I first started, it was only 20 minutes. And now that my life is my life, where I got a bunch of other things to do and things that I need to tend to, I only can afford 20 minutes sometimes. But that's all that it takes. So by prioritizing that, putting that first, then you'll find yourself there. What I would suggest is that you find time before the day whisks you away to put that 10 minutes, to put that 5 minutes, and then you'll see it stretch to 20 minutes. It's going to stretch beyond that. But try to put it first. Just make the intention and do something. Even if it's 60 seconds of creativity, do something first, and then you'll see things start to change. But they'll change in the best way because you'll finally be giving yourself the fuel that you need for everything else.
That's so good.
Excellent point. That is very good. That is very, very good. Because you must always give attention to your creativity and for the direction you want to move in. You must. That's excellent. Listen, and in closing, because I'm going to have to pull out. Thank you, Aaron, very much for this time and for your respect and your honor. I do thank you that you show towards me. And I want to let you know that I'm going to be in touch with you very soon to collaborate. I'm just going to bring you one song.
Sounds good.
Start with one song and see how we can collaborate with this.
All right. Well,
Cheryl and everyone else, have a beautiful day. Enjoy being with all of you, but I must move on.
Yes,
okay?
Yes. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you again.
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
God bless you all.
Everybody
all right,
say bye. Oh man, good times, family. So yeah, Samantha, how do you feel about that?
I feel that that's great. I really like the analogies she used about feeding yourself because I've definitely noticed that the desire to do something creative, it doesn't go away.
Right. It does not go away. It never goes away. And it's one of those things that is like the double-edged sword, right? Because you don't want it to go away. At the same time, sometimes you're just like, oh my gosh, because it causes so much cognitive dissonance and tension. What I learned to do was to realize that I had to take it out of the extracurricular category. I had to take it out of that category. I had to actually make it a necessity because what I realized is that priorities are subjective. And so we are really the ones that are deciding and agreeing to it. And sometimes, we can be influenced by having bills to pay and things to do. But at the same time, though, the truth is, it is as important as we make it. And so when I realized that, but that was the key. But then the next part would be when I would have success at it, whether it was growing in an area that I wanted to grow in or achieving a certain skill level, or whether it turned into a monetization opportunity or job or, career or everything in between. I realized that the actual determining factor of the success of it or not was literally based on how much I valued it. That that changed everything. That's the whole kit and caboodle. There are things, there are inevitable things that happen in life that you can't do anything about. Like if when things happen and change in life. But when our life is relatively consistent and it's not like a fire where we're trying to run out of burning building, and it's just life with its ups and downs. Well, this honestly is the best time, and this is when we have actually the opportunity to value it.
Yeah, that's so good.
Thank you. I'm glad that that's helpful, because I know what it's like. I know what it's like, man. Like, but that's just the other side of the coin. I have to say that in two ways. I know what it's like, and I've also been fortunate to know the complete opposite side, which is why I honor my mom so much. Hey, Ashby, thanks for hanging out. Because there's a such thing as having the perfect storm for success. Too much of a silver spoon in your mouth, and you don't know how to handle adversity and normal tough times. Too much tough times, and to some degree, whether it's your mindset or it's your physical limitations, you can't even access a better perspective of reality. But smack dab in the middle, and then it gives you everything that you need for the successful journey. It gives you that balance. So I just so happen to have that opportunity. Like, I didn't have a super rough childhood, very, 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 very minimal traumatic experiences. And then on the flip side, a lot of exposure and a lot of education. So the biggest thing that I learned out of it, that it all came to a head, is that I spend a lot of time valuing my thoughts, my feelings, and valuing the things that I'm either into or have a curiosity about. Like, someone told me before, they were like, when you have an idea, you must see it through. Like I see how it works with you. You must see it through. Like, you won't let anything else get in the way of you seeing it through. I value it. But I also have had the type of experiences that show that if I value something, that actually is the determining factor between whether I'm successful with it or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, put that thing first, and I say that so that way, as you continue to take care of life, when life whisks you away, when you got all the other things to do, it's both out of the way, but both in the way. Like, it's right in the right place, and then let it expand from there.
No, that's awesome. So now I'm doing this whole thought in my head about, am I constructing other things, to value, so that I can keep putting the thing that I really value, away. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
That's a lot. So I'm gonna be thinking about that.
It's called Psych 101, and I'm talking about psyching oneself. I definitely, not only do I know it, like they say, I'm not only a client, I'm the player president. Like I know it with all my heart, because here's the thing. There's a splitting hair difference between whether we're like actually being rational and whether we're just totally lying to ourselves to just procrastinate and not do something that we either are afraid to do. We're afraid of maybe fear of failure. Maybe we're afraid of success. Maybe we're afraid that the thing that we've always wanted, wow, I'm actually going to get it. And I never actually granted to myself that I should have it or that I even deserve it. Or it's just, ain't nobody got time for that. Like, it's just like, it's everything in between. Like, we find a way. So yeah, I think the thing would be to think about what are these structures, even if we could put some names on it right now. Like, what is a structure that you have built or that you have created in order to value that might be in question? You know, that's the thing. Those are the things to think about. And I always say, like, again, think about how you feel as you're you know, leading to that. Like, you know, I wish I could find where I wrote it down. It was like a little quote, but it was basically about determining whether something was a healthy distraction or an unhealthy distraction. And it was based on the thought right before doing the action. It was based on that thought. So, you know, I would say, like, think about it that way. Are these things that keep you from what you really want to do and make you make excuses about it? Or are these things that you actually really value and they actually have more interest to you than other things? You know, it's worth exploring.
No, that's good. I'm gonna think about that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Marcy. Hey, Marcy. Marcy, Ashby, hey, if you all would like to come to the stage, by all means, throw up a wave. You know, my ass was supposed to be out of here at 11, but you know damn well, as long as I got some people to talk to, especially people that I love and care for, I'm all here for it. So if you all like to come to the stage, by all means, throw up a wave and come this way. We got a few more minutes hanging out here. AP Morning Show. Samantha. Hey. I see Marcy. Okay, so I'm going to wave to you, Marcy, first. Because I wanted to just do... Oh, but don't answer that. I think that means start another room. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Oh, no. I jumped myself out of my own room. That was funny. Hey, Marcy.
Hey.
What's up, Marcy?
How are you?
I am doing well, but I'm doing funny right now because I forgot to do...
Are we?
What'd you say, Marcy? Oh.
Are we even in the same place? What's going on?
I'm gonna tell you what I just did. I just got so happy that I hit wave to you, but I forgot wave actually means... This is gonna be funny. Hold on, let me see if I can open this. Wave means that you want to actually start another room with the person.
Yeah, like why I'm like, where do other people?
Where we go?
Where am I?
Look, they're hitting me up now. So that's hilarious. So okay, let me see what I let visitors in. Okay, let me say everyone. Can I change the title?
What in the world?
Okay, so what it is so the wave feature is actually when you actually are telling someone that you want to start a room with them. Mm-hmm. So I hit it thinking that I was just waving to you saying hi. I forgot it means that. So
right.
That's why I zapped this out. But it's all good. How are you today? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for asking. How about you?
I am incredible. I am excellent. I am everything that you know me to be when I have the opportunity to just do this thing called life another day.
Awesome.
You know how it goes.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I am well. I have moved into another place. I have, you know, some new beginnings, some new energy, you know, some new vibes. So I am good. I am good in the hood.
That's great. That is great.
How about you?
I've been good. I've been working really too much.
Yeah.
Actually developed carpal tunnel. And I've got 3 trigger fingers on both. You know, one is 2 on one hand, 1 on the other. Yeah. Just going through the pains of being a computer bound, you know, to the desk worker. But short of that, I'm good.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the first thing you know is that it's just so good to hear your voice. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's been months.
I know, right?
Like I'll pop in here and there, but never kind of put my hand up and say, "Hey, I'm ready to get up there."
Right. So, you know, I the other day I talked to Ken, and Ken came through and he was like, "Man, I want y'all to hold me accountable for one thing." Like, what's that, Ken? He's like, "Man, I want you to hold me accountable for coming back to this experience." He said, "Man, I miss this so much." He's like,
yeah.
And so we had a good time.
This has been a part of my morning routine. It was a part of my routine so long, and then it just kind of died down, and we all started doing other things.
Right.
And amazingly enough, we're all doing great, but I still miss that circle that we created.
Yeah, 100%. So one of the things that I know is that I feel is that I'll have people that'll pop in here or there, and so I know more people will start coming back through, especially with my new schedule, because now I'm about to take this thing to another level, which I'm so excited about. I have a manager now. I'm building out my VA team, like whole 9. So this thing is about to be on a whole other level.
That's dope.
So you're definitely going to see some old familiar faces. You're going to see some new faces. You're going to see all kinds of people real soon.
That's really good. I'm so glad to hear that. And I saw that you were going to be doing your app soon.
That right there is exciting. In fact, I'm going to see if I can pin. Oh, that's the Clubhouse room. Let me see. So I actually, this app I'm looking to launch it in spring. But the thing that I'm excited about now is that I'm pushing out the content now. So for everybody here that's hanging out here on Facebook, the 5M mindfulness and meditation app coming out with 2022 spring soulful self-care tools. It is my contribution to the field of self-care. It's where utility and creativity meet artistry. And man, I'm excited about that. The 5 M's are music, movement, mindfulness, meditation, and mantra. On Sundays here at Clubhouse, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I do the live experience, and then the app will be coming out so that you can have all the tools at your fingertips. In the meantime, in between time, I'm putting all the tools on the YouTube channel, as far as like the daily guided meditations that I do, as well as the self-care topic videos that are around things like emotional intelligence and dealing with stress, dealing with family members, relationships. I've been in school for psychotherapy for the last 1.5 years, and it's just to become a professional empath. So yeah, Marcy, that is the 5M journey that I'm on right now. That
is awesome. Oh my goodness.
I got a clip. Thank you. I got a clip on my Instagram from the other day when I was at the studio remaking the theme music making the theme music for it. And it was a moment of serendipity because the theme music is a piece that I had actually written and made a track for like 15 years ago, when I was a gospel jazz artist, and I never used it. And it happened to be the perfect thing for 5M because I based the beat around the number 5. Like you'll hear 5 beats in the beat. So it's like, I mean, I'm flying on a cloud right now, like just with how this is unfolding, and I'm most excited just because for me, it's all about helping us to manage our stress, helping us to get through tough times, and just have some coping mechanisms, some healthy coping strategies, some soulful coping strategies.
Yes. That is great. I remember we were talking about this, it was earlier this year about the app.
Right.
And I'm super excited that you've made so much progress with getting it done. And now you're working behind the scenes to really be prepared for it to launch. Now, these are like the final stages.
Right. They really are. So I'm excited. How has your family been? How are you?
Family is great. Everyone is doing well.
That's good.
I have the luck of the draw that everyone's having Christmas at my house.
Look, you see, I said, you see, I said, I gave you that in between. Look, I gave you that in between. It was like, like I didn't. Yeah, some patience will be needed. I feel you, Marcy. You ain't feeling all.
I will not be. I'm gonna be in the bedroom.
Yeah, I feel you.
And it's not just that one day. They're staying for 4 days.
I got you. One of them. Yeah, I definitely feel you. Well, the good thing is you're doing the best thing for you all. You are like knowing where you need to be so that everybody can be somewhat okay. least.
Right. Like I'm the ambivert that has like 2 hours of extrovert and the rest just goes away.
Right. Look, I'm with you on that. I am with you on that. Wow.
And other than that, work has been the same thing that it's always been. Executive leadership at its best, which is not always good.
Right.
And, you know, I'm on the journey until I'm ready to end the journey.
Right. Where do you think the journey will go from here, you know, from there for you? Like, you know, I don't know if I've ever asked you, like, just future aspirations, future Marcy, life, legacy, family, just bucket lists, like, you know, where does Marcy go from there? Like,
from this, I will more than likely transition to another executive leadership role while I'm still growing my business as a career coach. And that's the fun part. I get to do what I love.
Right.
And know the people that I actually work with and for through my business.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. I just want to be able to impact people's lives and help them out with securing employment and getting paid the salary they deserve instead of just working for a check.
Right. That's powerful. And honestly, that's freedom.
Yes.
You know, that's freedom. That is freedom.
So by next summer, I'm going to be working from the beach.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, look, Marcy, I only got one request for you. Can we get some Instagrams and from the beach? Maybe even some TikToks if I show you why you could actually crush them all if you start with TikTok and let them flow through your chain of Instagram and Facebook and email and all that stuff. Can we get some beach freedom coach grams?
Oh yeah.
She said, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah. I will take all of the photographs. Right. I will go live from the beach. Yes, tell you what it feels like. I'll even get on here and just meditate. Just shut my eyes and let you listen to the water.
Right. So matter of fact, on that tip, we got to do a collab one day when you just take just a quick random candid video, whether it's live or whether it's actual video. I want you to shoot it to me so that I could put piano behind it and just talk about freedom and just connect together on that, to just use the demonstration of expression, through both of us just living life in the way that we are, to just help some people.
Right.
So yeah, forward me one in the future. And I'm
definitely will. I definitely will. I'm going to be in Vegas in February.
Oh, that's dope.
More to come on that. I'm not going to say anything until it's time.
Right. That's dope.
Yeah.
Dope. Well, that's cool, Marcy. Well, I'm so happy to have had a few minutes to catch up with you. As Anita said, it's been so long.
I know. But your daughter is a year older. She's bigger than what she was when I first saw her pictures.
My daughter took me out on a date.
Your mom is famous.
Right, my mom is famous. My mom is hood famous. My daughter took me out on a date the other day. I
saw that. That was so nice.
You talk about proud father moment. Oh my gosh. So.
And it was such a beautiful place. I said, wow, look at that.
Right. Yeah, it was such a good time. So I'm so grateful. So, yep. So this has been great. Please give your family love. Tell your husband I said hello. Tell him get his own damn mug still.
Right. He's not trying to do it. He just uses mine when he feels like it.
Oh man. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day today. And your week, if we don't catch up, we don't get a chance to talk again. And Marcy, I really mean it from the bottom of my heart. It really, really is good to see you, to hear your voice, and to talk to you. I really mean
absolutely. It. Let's just keep connecting right here and doing what we do.
You know it. All right, Marcy. Well, have a great Monday, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and leave the room, so I'm going to leave you to the Facebook crew.
All right. Take care, Marcy.
All righty.
Peace. Oh man, good times, family. Good times. As you all see, it's always a great time. Accountability partners. What's fun about life is, my buddy and I used to talk about this, my bass player and best friend. We used to talk about this when it came to music. I'm the only person in this experience back to a blank canvas. And besides you listening out there on Facebook and YouTube land, it's like music where there's a whole lot that happens, a whole lot of good. And then when it comes all the way down to it, all the way back to the silence, you realize that all that is in the realm of possibility and spontaneity. All of that is in the realm of something that's tangible, but if you walk in the moment after, you have no idea what just happened. So that's why it's important to cherish our moments and be in them as deeply as possible, wherever we find ourselves, whether it's by ourselves or with others. So thank you for cherishing this moment with me. And you can experience this moment again because you can hit replay. So definitely do that. Share it with a friend. Enjoy this from the top if you just came in. And I'll talk to you real soon. Much love. Peace.